lunch with the doc. It's another Wednesday, and we love it. We're so stoked. We're up on our beautiful patio, and we're about to talk about power of an adjustment. It's going to be a good one.
And at some point, this fog, aka June gloom, is going to blow off like it did yesterday.
It did yesterday.
It was beautiful and warm. And but don't ever think that you still can't get a sunburn through this stuff.
Never think.
That's why we put up the umbrella today. I went down to the surf contest last weekend, and I was down there. My son was helping run it, and you know, again compete. And I was out there talking to people, started adjusting surfers and friends and patients. And by the time I got home, I said, okay, I better wear a hat when I go back down. And it's starting to blow off. By the end of the day, I had a hat on the whole rest of the day, and I was cooked, lobster style.
Cooked.
Just like, gosh,
sunscreen
dude.
is important, but it's also very important that you have natural, organic, non-toxic sunscreen, because sunscreen, the chemicals in it can also be causes of cancer.
And the microparticles. So better to do some sort of a zinc product, something like that can be rubbed in. Roots carry some good stuff.
Roots has really good sunscreen, so go over, check them out. They have a raw, it's called raw sunscreen, and it's really good. So it's
I've got to get
summertime is around the corner. I mean, it's actually pretty much here. So these are good things to think about.
Yeah.
Captain Sam is live.
Oh, Captain Sam, what's up? Thanks for joining us. So, what were we talking about today?
That thing called an adjustment.
Oh, that thing called adjustment.
Bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, bad thing.
An adjustment.
An adjustment. You ever notice when you're stretching one side to the other, you'll feel little pops, clicks? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's normal.
See if I can get one.
Joint physiology.
Oh, just got a little one?
All it means is that the joint is actually opening up and releasing some of the gas. There's carbon dioxide and nitrogen gas in the joint capsule that acts as a shock absorber. And when a joint actually, goes and gets moved, it'll actually a lot of times pop, just like you see this, like that. Now they did studies because the old wives' tale said that if you crack your knuckles, they'll get arthritic. That's not really true. That was just proven. But joints are meant to move. Not meant to move way beyond their physiological capacity, but to keep moving, because a healthy joint is a joint that moves. And if a joint is moving, then it's not going to go through premature degenerative changes, like arthritis.
And like you say, if it's not moving, it's fusing.
That's true. If a joint is not moving, it's starting to fuse.
And fusing just means that it joins with the other one, right?
Arthritic, scar tissue makes it not move. We'll get into all that. But I remember a radiology conference that I was at, a relicensing seminar. That's what the medical radiologist said. So check this out. I always thought that adjusting was kind of weird, but that is a diagram, an ancient Chinese transcript that shows one Chinese doctor adjusting a Chinese patient. They've been adjusting the spine for up to 3,000 years, and it's been part of their whole healthcare delivery system with herbology and acupuncture, acupressure, soft tissue work, and spinal manipulation. I just always thought it was kind of weird because, seeing weird movies like Steven Seagal and stuff, he'd come up from behind and go, and the guy goes, down, dead. But that's not the kind of adjustments we're talking about. Those are harmful. These are life-giving. And when you say that, it's like, well, what is that based on? We've got so many research projects right here that are going to give you the inside data in terms of what the science says. Now, the drug companies hate people to adjust. Why do you think that is?
Because it heals you and it keeps you well.
And it also is because if you get adjusted, the research shows you're going to have less pain. We'll get into all the different things. That means they're not going to sell as many Tylenol, as many Advil, as many aspirin. So we're public enemy number one to the drug companies. Now, what is the largest grossing business in the world? Got to be oil. No, maybe computers. Car industry.
Oh,
Think about it, there's
that's a
cars
big one.
everywhere.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And the pharmaceutical industry. You know what's number one? Pharmaceutical industry is number one by far. They
Crazy.
basically have the most money of any profession, and they basically dictate a lot of what's going on in the political arena, especially when it comes to healthcare and healthcare in the United States and Europe. It's just been a monopolizing of the healthcare delivery system. And if you look back through the history of healthcare, you know, before the pharmaceutical companies started trying to find the active agents in the herbs, you know, you had centuries and centuries and centuries where all the doctors of all the cultures would give herbology, they'd do fasts, they would do diets, programs, different exercises. This is how they got people well. And prayer. And, you know, and every other witch doctor thing you can think of. But then when they started to isolate the active ingredient in the herbs that were doing it, then they could concentrate it, and that's where you have modern pharmacology. And there's a time and a place for it. I'm not here to bash it. I'm just here to say there's a time and a place for it. Like when I had a hip replacement, I was really grateful that there were opiates. Although it was really hard to come off the opiates, and I shook like a heroin addict when I was starting to come off of them. It was crazy. But you know, a lot of people get strung out, and they actually mask their symptoms by using drugs and medications. But there's a time and a place for them, and it's just, you know, let's use the natural methods first. I mean, I think that would make sense to most people. But a lot of people don't necessarily want to go that way. If there's a quick, easy thing, I'm going to take 3 Advil because my back's sore. Okay, all right. But one study in the Week magazine, this came out 4 years ago, said that 6 treatments with an over-the-counter anti-inflammatory can increase the risk of heart attack and stroke by up to 50%. That was in the Week magazine.
Whoa.
Did you get that article in here? Is that in there?
I think it's in somewhere.
Yeah.
We talked
it's on
about
our website.
that.
So, you know, for people that like to know and people that think that chiropractors are just talking about their craft and it's not really scientifically sound, I've got news for you. There's a scientific body of knowledge that is a firm foundation of research, double-blind studies. We've got it here. We've got it on our website. If you want to get access to some of that research, we did so much work. I mean,
we did so much
Maria and Raya, I really drove them to task. I said, look, we want the science that backs up what we do. It's not just Dr. G's opinion or Lisa's opinion or, you know, whatever. We want the science that backs it all up. We have the science for what we do, and it's on our website. So if anybody wants the science to show what an adjustment does, then great, we'll give you access to it.
So you actually have to request access on our website because we don't just give it away for free, but we'll give it away to you if you're interested and want to access it. So there's a access request button on our website. You just go to the research tab and then put request access, and we'll allow you to check it all out.
It cost me thousands of dollars to get all this research and then to have them go find it and then to put them on the website. So I don't just want to make it available to any Tom, Dick, or Harry that wants to copy what we're doing and get it all for free off our website. So anyhow, let's just talk real quickly about what an adjustment is and what happens. So here is a spinal model. This is called the pinched nerve. You'll notice when the vertebra is out of place in relation to the one above it, you have the spinal cord right here, you have the spinal nerve roots that come out here. This is an example of what's called a subluxation, also known as a pinched nerve. You can see the red lights on it. This is when the life force is flowing. Now you have the green lights on it. Hopefully you can see that. It might be a little bit dull, but that's when the life force is flowing from the brain, that's a generator, down through the spinal cord, out through here to go to all the organs and all the muscles and all the tissues in the body, because we know that the central nervous system controls every other system in the body, right? Everybody knows your brain and spinal cord controls everything. And then how the spine sits around that spinal cord is very important, because if there's abnormal pressure one place or another, or if your posture is distorted like this, that's going to put traction on it, and it's going to actually interfere with the flow of that nervous power, that nervous energy that controls everything. So that's why this is so important. And if anybody does have questions today, you can, type in your question and we'll talk about it. The other thing has to do with movement and motion. So we talked a little bit about posture. I've already a couple of times talked about the Nobel Prize winner, and what he did is he found, Dr. Roger Sperry found that 90% of the brain's energy, it's the generator of electrical energy, 90% of the brain power goes into our body just to deal with our body relating to gravity. Like to sit here, to stand, to walk, to exercise, to not just be a blob on the floor. 90% goes to that. That's if we have normal posture. So normal posture basically means this. I don't know if I've gone out of the, have I gone out of the thing there?
Nope, you're in it if you stand right in front of the chair.
So normal posture means your head is level, your shoulders are level, your hips are level, and then from the side, that the center of the ear is over the center of the shoulder. There's a curve in the mid-back, curve in the neck, curve in the low back, and curve in your tailbone, and that your ankles, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, and the center of your ear are all in line with each other. That's normal posture. So, and only 10% of the brain's energy is used for organ function, for thinking, for healing, for handling emotional stress. Isn't that something?
It's crazy.
If you have a distortion of your posture, then it means your body's going to rob 10% of organ function capacity just to deal with the distortion. That's why when people started fixing their posture like I did, when in 1982 and 83 was when I actually fixed my posture, got out of my symptoms, and then chose to fix my posture so that my symptoms didn't come back, much like a person chooses to put braces on crooked teeth because they want to have a beautiful smile. That changed everything for me, and a lot of my continual heartburn I was having all went away. A lot of people's organ problems go away when they fix their posture. This is like the spinal segments of your spine. What's going on here? These three aren't moving, are they? These have been injured in the past. This is not moving, and it will start to actually lead to degenerative arthritis because now it's in an abnormal function from what it should have been normally. We want to try to find those places that are stuck or that are misaligned, like this, or where the posture is distorted, and we want to do adjustments to start correcting the posture and move things in the direction of correction. Those are all adjustments. Sometimes they make noises, sometimes they don't. So what more do you want to know about?
So I want to know, what does an adjustment do? What are the benefits for me if I come in, get an adjustment? What are the benefits?
All right.
Let's tell me.
We got a lot of stuff. Well, this one I thought was interesting. This was a 2010 study. Adjustments actually improve your immune system.
They do.
So it was found that patients receiving chiropractic adjustments increased a specific signaling molecule in the body called interleukin-2. Interleukin-2 regulates the activities of white blood cells responsible for your immunity. And it's a key component of the body's natural response to microbial infection, viruses, funguses, bacteria, those kind of things. Interleukin-2 also helps the body recognize and create specific responses to neutralize foreign invaders. This protein molecule existed at a higher rates in people who received chiropractic spinal adjustments in comparison to those people who didn't.
Wow. So it increases interleukin-2.
That means you're not going to get sick as often if you're getting adjusted regularly.
Ooh,
That's
good. You won't miss as much work. Won't miss those fun events you want to go to. Won't miss going to the beach when it gets nice. I like that. I want to get sick.
A couple things on the immune system.
Actually, I don't get sick that often because I get adjustments.
Yep. Same with me. So stay on track with your adjustments. Get adequate amounts of vitamin D. Add 30 to 60 minutes to your sleep on a normal routine, because inadequate sleep plummets your immunity. And replace sugary drinks and snacks with more nutritious choices. Sugar drains your immunity.
So we kind of wanted to highlight the fact that adjustments improve immunity today. We're going to go through some of the other benefits of an adjustment, but we really want to highlight the fact that an adjustment really improves your immune function. So that's a huge benefit and something that's really important to realize, and something that will change your life. So let's go through the other...
Let's do these first, and just talk a little bit about all. These are 15 proven things that an adjustment does.
15 proven things. So number 1 is it turns down pain. So it decreases your pain signals. Is that because of what it's doing to the nerve, or what is it?
It actually affects certain nerves in there. That nerves that tell us about pain are called nociceptors. You don't have to remember this. You're not taking a test. But the nerves that are involved with movement of a joint that are stimulated are called mechanical receptors. So when you get motion in a joint, it turns down the pain.
Wow.
That's it.
So that was found in a study by Agura in 2011, and Taylor and Murphy in 2007. I don't have to go through all of them, but there's a lot of studies.
If you want the studies, we got it.
Yeah.
It also decreases muscle spasm. They found within 3 nanoseconds of an adjustment, muscle spasm that had electrodes on the muscles around the segment that had a subluxation, a misalignment. When those muscles are really tight, when you got adjusted, click, 3 nanoseconds, the muscle spasm went, like that.
Okay, it also decreases low back and neck pain. Something that a lot of us deal with. And
many studies show people that get adjusted have less low back pain and have less neck pain.
It helps break up adhesions in the muscle. What are adhesions?
Adhesions are scar tissue matrices like this. I brought the ball here because I was the best example I could. If this is like skin, and this is like the normal fascia over a muscle. You know when you have raw chicken and you open it up, there's that slippery little coating on it. That's what makes muscles slide next to each other. This would be like that normal fascia. This is like what happens after an injury. Because after an injury where tissues are overstretched,
like that.
Like if you went like bam, like that really fast, you over 12 weeks you'd start laying down scar tissue, and that would make it not move very well if you didn't keep it moving, adjusted, mobilized, massaged. You have a 12-week healing period after a trauma. That's why it's so important to get movement and treatment when you're healing, unless it's broken. If it's broken, you've got to immobilize it, and then afterwards, you're going to have to keep it moving and get this scar tissue broken up.
All right, next, it improves your central nervous system function. Well, that's pretty much the end-all, be-all. I mean,
it controls everything.
Controls everything.
Adjustments help to stimulate the central nervous system to work more properly.
It improves immune function, like we talked about. Amazing.
It also suppresses your sympathetic nervous system. Do you know what that is?
So your sympathetic nervous system is the one that's like associated with fight or flight?
Yes. So the tiger's chasing you, your sympathetic nervous system turns on, you run faster, you're stronger than any other time in your life. It's like the baby that gets trapped under the wheel of a car and the mother pulls the car up and gets the baby out.
Whoa.
You know, superhuman strength.
Wow. But it
suppresses it, makes it, because that's a stress. So you don't want to be living your life like the tiger's chasing you.
Yeah.
You know? So anyhow, it turns that down. It improves muscle strength.
Yeah.
It improves your mechanical function if your adjustments are improving joint mechanics.
It decreases inflammation in the body. Ooh, inflammation is the secret killer.
Yes.
Leads to most all diseases.
Newsweek magazine 2007 to cover the secret killer, inflammation. It benefits injury relief. We talked about that. It improves brain function and helps with neurological conditions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different research studies that say that it improves your brain function and helps with neurological conditions.
That is a good thing. I mean, who can't use improved brain function? Even if you're a genius, get more smart, you know?
Yeah.
Keep making amazing ideas for this world to be a better place.
It improves digestion, including irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, Crohn's disease. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 big studies on that.
And it diminishes your acid reflux. So if you get heartburn, get some adjustments.
T5 goes right to the stomach.
Ooh.
And then it also has benefits of heart health, improves heart rate variability and organ health. Big study 2006. Then the other thing, sciatica, headaches, high blood pressure, insomnia, frozen shoulder, elbow pain, colic, acid reflux, ear infections in children, child bedwetting. I mean, all these are studies. It's pretty darn amazing.
So really there is so much power in an adjustment. It really touches so many points of health, not just, oh, you know, my back kind of hurts, but it's like touching all different points of your health and your body. It's pretty
so
amazing.
they can be very gentle. They don't always have to pop to do good things. We have all kinds of different ways to adjust, just gentle breathing. You can do arthrostem, tat-tat-tat, 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 gentle adjustments. They don't have to be aggressive, but chiropractic adjustments should only be done after a complete comprehensive diagnostic examination is done. Don't let just some yahoo on the street adjust you. You should have a proper workup and know what types of adjustments are best for you and where it's needed.
Can you really quickly tell the story of the first adjustment?
Oh yeah, Harvey Lillard. If you look up the first chiropractic adjustment, Harvey Lillard was the janitor in D.D. Palmer's office, and he could hardly hear. He was basically deaf, and D.D. Palmer had been studying things. See, the chiropractors in America think they actually discovered chiropractic. Little did they know that 3,000 years of Chinese medicine has been doing this. But,
Okay, so not the first adjustment, but
the first chiropractic American adjustment.
yes.
And so he got a segment adjusted that affected his neurological function, and he regained his hearing.
Whoa.
Harvey Lillard. You can look it
Wow.
up.
That
So-
is truly amazing. Could you
Yeah.
imagine if you had no hearing in your ear for your whole life and then you got an adjustment and all of a sudden it was back?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
So that's what an adjustment is. Hopefully this has helped you understand it and give you some science and that it's safe, it's smart, and it's effective.
Have a good Wednesday. We'll see you next week. Don't miss Lunch with the Doc.
See ya.
Every Wednesday at 12:30. See you soon.
Okay. What time we got? 5 till?